The process has been kind of fluid. It has been smooth. There is much more connection than we think, in a way. There are two main set of pieces that will be presented. There is the oryx from the UAE and the cow from Rwanda. The cow from Rwanda have been part of the culture scene for a long time. They represent beauty, wealth, and health. And to connect them with the Emirati oryx, it just makes a lot of sense. They have the same meaning as well here, so putting them together was the goal.
And so from our side, the brief basically was to be inspired by the flora and fauna of the Emirates, specifically Dubai, and create patterns that would eventually be placed on headpieces of the Rwandan cow and the Arabian oryx. We thought it would be interesting to explore the flora more. And a lot of those plants actually are things that we would see every day.
Were interesting to us. It was the plants that, from a distance, they looked very bare, they didn't have any color, but only when you get so close to it, you would see like tiny little flowers blooming.
The Rwandan craft scene, let's just say, have been kind of constant. They were doing the same objects based on objects that historically were there, not modifying them too much. So when I first started working with them, I kind of implemented a new way of doing things, elevate them in a more modern way, but keeping kind of the minimal aspect.
Continue a conversation that merges both cultures, the Rwanda culture and the UAE culture, through design and creating products. These dialogues define crafts in a new format in which they evolve contemporary aspect to their practices.
I was very interested in creating something that doesn't follow like a repetitive module, because when you're creating patterns, it's always based on something that is repetitive. How can we break the grid and then perhaps start with something that could start as a pattern, but then it sort of gradiates and moves and becomes sort of something else?
Yeah, so this is a challenge in terms of like shape and design and stuff, which I really enjoy. And I would like you to try on it.
Like the general patterns that are used in Rwanda, and I mean African art in general, a lot of them are very geometric, like our own local crafts like Sadu and Telli. I just found the idea very exciting because it's something unusual and never done before. I always love the idea of working with other cultures and trying to learn more. One of the main important outcomes of this project is creating this dialogue and trying to learn from each other.
I think there is a lot to be shared between the two communities and a lot to discover as well.